Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. I hope you guys are getting ready to get up, get out, make some things happen this morning. Do some type of activity, man. Get your bones moving and grooving this morning, man. You guys hit me in the comment section on this one, man. I want to do a little bit of a preview. I had a video up, but it was some technical difficulties. I had to redo this and put this back up. But I want to give a brief preview of Rice versus USC and what to expect. And, you know, a lot of times, we hear things about Rice. They had a 4-8 season, kind of the same record as USC. But some of that action could be a little bit, it could a little bit taken out of hand, because a lot of times people look at the record and think, okay, Rice is just a sorry team. And I'm not saying a mega powerhouse by any means necessary. But I think if you look at their season, even though they got blown out at the end of the season, they were in quite a few games, man, at the end of the game. And you'll see that in the first game that they played, which was playing against Arkansas. They were in this game all the way to the end, all the way to the fourth quarter. But I want to know what you guys think about it. But, some brief little news that came out this morning. Shout out to Phil. Phil sent me this morning. Cal commit. It's a 3-star defensive tackle commit that just decommitted. And I think that USC has an opportunity here. The guys out of Los Angeles Cathedral High School, USC has an opportunity to get this guy, man. You guys already know we flipped Amos Talele, who was committed to Cal. Then we flipped as well. I guess it wasn't really a flip, but he was 100% crystal ball. Malik Crawford, cornerback that we got, 6'4" cornerback that we got. He was also 100% crystal ball to Cal. So this guy will be the third guy that we've actually had a flip. If we go ahead and get this guy, he's out of Los Angeles Cathedral High School. I think we got an opportunity here to possibly get this guy, man. So hey, also Lincoln Riley did put up the emoji. He did the fight on last night. So I'm not sure who it is. I'm thinking it's Eleni Noah. So if we can get these guys two in 1 week, that'd be absolutely great, man. That'd be great. And just a little brief news and note items. You guys know it was a scrimmage last night. Of course, the scrimmage was closed last night. So, we want to hear some news and note items. That, hopefully I get to bring some of those to you maybe later on the day when a commitment comes through, because I think I may be coming back once a commitment comes through. I think one may be coming back today. I know sometime this week for sure, but maybe possibly today, USCJ may be coming back to you. Now, let's get into this USC versus Rice in-depth preview and look at the numbers. Arkansas last year, they went 9-4. 9-4 record, played in the SEC, finished out very strong last year, played in a big-time bowl game, and they had a big-time quarterback, man, that they had on their shoulders, that took everything on his shoulders, and his name was KJ Jefferson. And I just kind of want to compare him with Caleb Williams, because I think Caleb Williams can do everything that he does, even more so, even better than what he does. But KJ Jefferson is actually a good quarterback who threw for almost 3,000 yards last year. Very mobile quarterback, big quarterback, physical quarterback, can run the ball, throw the ball, and he has some good decision making. And so I think that USC can expect to do the same thing, but even more. But I don't want us to be lost in the sauce early on like the way Arkansas was. Arkansas was completely lost in the sauce. Didn't really make adjustments, in my opinion, until the fourth quarter. Late in the fourth quarter, this game was taken all the way down to the fourth quarter. So looking at it, Arkansas, Rice rather, their offensive coordinator is Marcus Tuiasosopo, and you guys are very familiar. He's a creative guy. He used to be coordinator for Oakland Raiders. He used to play for the University of Washington, and he worked with the University of Southern California from, I think, 2014 to 2015. So he has a lot of experience, and he's a creative guy. So last year, their offense, Rice offense, had a total of, I just want to do the Arkansas game. And the reason I want to do it through the Arkansas game is because Arkansas, being a good team as they were, Rice can throw a lot of people off in the beginning of the season, and a lot of people can get lost in the sauce if they're not aware of what Rice can do, or Rice has the ability to do, how they stretch the field. And this is exactly what happened during the Rice versus Arkansas game. So I want to throw these numbers out from the offensive side and show Arkansas's offense as well, what our defense can expect on the flip side of that. So Arkansas versus Rice. Rice total offense was 308 yards for Rice. They had 73 plays in that whole game. They averaged 4.2 yards per play. That was the Rice offense. Now we looked at Arkansas offense. Arkansas's total offense was 373 yards, and they had 65 plays, and they averaged 5.74 yards per play. Now you see that Arkansas versus Rice plays per play. Rice actually had 73 compared to 65 plays, so they essentially controlled the clock with the way their offense was structured and ran. So what that means is that means that USC needs to control the clock. Number one, they need to keep the offense on the field, control the clock, and don't allow Rice to control the clock with the way they did with Arkansas in an SEC environment. The stadium was packed, so Rice is apparently they're not afraid to come in anybody's backyard and control the clock or do what they do on the field. So the quarterback for Rice, his name is Green, W. Green. He threw 12. He went 12 for 24, 152 yards. And the running back, he did have one TD. He had 3 INTs. The running back had 13 carries, 35 yards. So you see they weren't really productive there. But the receiver, Petrie, he went 4 receptions for 97 yards and 1 touchdown in that game. KJ Jefferson on the flip side for Arkansas, he went 12 for 21, 128 yards and 1 TD, 1 INT. And the running back went 22 carries for 102 yards. So you see that it was a pretty balanced game on both sides as far as offenses, but it just took some time for Arkansas, a very physical team who kind of played a lot of teams last year, very tough. And like I said, they finished out strong. And so I think we can expect a Rice team that's going to come out there. You guys got to understand that USC has been all in the news. Lincoln Riley has been in the news. USC being the #1 transfer portal class, they've been in the news. So USC already gets everybody's best shot anyway. But Rice is going to come out there. Everybody's going to come out there every game and give us their best shot, especially a team like Rice. They're going to be excited to come to the Coliseum. They're going to be excited to put their players on the field. And so they're going to think this is their Super Bowl. And so we have to understand that they had major production against a big-time SEC team last year who was extremely physical. And I did look at Rice's offensive line, and they got a big offensive line, believe it or not. I looked at them, man. I went down the list. They got a lot of 6'3" guys, 305 pounds, 6'6", 350 pounds, 6'5", 314. I seen that. Surprisingly, now the defensive line is very, it's small. It looked like some guys with 6'2", 250. So I think, as it relates to our offensive line pushing their D-line around, I think it's going to be an easy type of situation as it relates to that. But I think that we're going to have to, our D-line is going to have to, be able to make a push back there. Rotate some guys making a push back there because they do have a big offensive line. And that's surprising to me when I looked at that. So you guys, you guys hit me in the comment section. You tell me what you guys think, man. Like, share, subscribe. USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. And as it relates to their offense, I think that we're going to have to rotate some guys around as it relates to nickelback because they run like a 2 tight end set. And so I think we're going to have to get like a Latrell McCutcheon, or we're going to have to get like a somebody who's long. Of course, I got Xavier Alford, Kalen Bullock starting. But when it comes to nickelback, Mekhi Blackman's already a long corner. When it comes to nickelback, I think that we're going to have to get a long nickelback, somebody like Latrell McCutcheon, somebody like that, maybe even a Bryson Shaw to do some coverage as it relates to those 2 tight ends coming down the field, because we don't want to get lost in the sauce. Now, Arkansas, man, they were stretching the field. They had a play where Rice was stretching the field, and I seen them, man. I seen them do a deep ball, and some of Arkansas's DBs were getting lost in the sauce. So we don't want to get lost in the sauce thinking that Rice doesn't have the ability to stretch the field like that. Now, the quarterback, Green, he will stretch the ball pretty far. And they were kind of playing McCaffrey as well, Christian McCaffrey's brother. They were playing him at quarterback, but I see he switched over full-time at receiver, so he's no longer playing quarterback. So these are a couple of things that we need to expect. I think USC will be fine. We just need to jump out on them. We don't need to carry it on. It was all 58 seconds left. The game was tight. 4 minutes left. the game was still tight. Arkansas actually went up in the fourth quarter. Rice actually went up in the fourth quarter, 17-7. And all of a sudden, Arkansas started pulling away, in the fourth quarter, and they scored all the way up to like 58 seconds left. So I think these are the things that we can look for. Let's don't get lost in the sauce. Let's stay on our P's and Q's in this football game. And listen, man, I think we're gonna win this game. And my prediction, I just want to say, man, it's going to be 43-7 USC. So you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Fight on, fight on, fight on.